mafaso aye omuniema ene the body sa Kotoko legends ne old players of Kumasi Asante Kotoko na me in my own I feel say omo and I part of the whole thing ama prosper every Kotoko na zito the Kotoko no managers beba nti say obi free club umako and Kenya news the money news any circumstances surrounding nipa no chrono nioma a coso around the issue no and na ya ma ye be ya na the manager be club we na free club no akode enka enye news na the old players of Kumasi Asante Kotoko and let me know omo e wo bika see club bia e wo old players club bia e wo ne legends and as omo mabo club no etwam ekro ya na those persons in nyina omo interest and I'm say club no omo femu ene koye but normally it's a club no structures adwuma those interests no it is channeled or kwanya sa interest near express it towards the club. But the way Kumasi Asante Kotoko has been structured, there are times sa structure na anyhow and as the way Kotoko is structured into ma adna kwa say ye namunchen ye we say ye go there be munyima we be to me aye and it is not structured very well. If there was, let's say, a board and all students rep what do I always say all players rep swa nkade ba say normally that particular rep no represent the interest of that group no in the board section no kona omo koka na ne board no ye nipa na oba na be kire wadwe ne awie ne yeto aba whatever the be win bia no awene na ye nyina we go for it. But the one particular body of the club no feel say we must ye ni abo club ni da ye ni enim say the club ni tie ye ni was ye can ye ni was say we must. I mean I feel that a lot of clubs are struggle in recent times. Typically for Manchester United as a typical example, you realize that all players play a role in the club na ba be drew because at times when the voices of old players and you're coordinated very well. Now, yes, you see, sir, your mandate and answer, sir, to me now, you want to dictate how the club should go, how the club should be run, how decisions in the club should be run. Yeah, okay, can you money now? But this is what happens. All students, Obia one view, Obia one interest. Obia when he said Phyllis how the club should be run. But I feel that what the old players should be calling for is a Kotoko that is running on structures a workable and a functional. And yes, at every point in time, no, you perceive a chair, said your club name, said your club name, said your club name. Eventually, your Kobia na be in Kobesi and your Babisi. And I have a problem with the way I said so now on your old player, on your old legend, they call them legend, on your legend of the club. I said you cannot coach the club or you cannot run the affairs of the club or you cannot. I feel that it is very, very wrong. And your man also on their own platform discussions on my year and that's how one at times Utibia you ask yourself. Actually, the modern trends of running the club, of running football club, the modern methods of running for the professional lines are you running a corporate entity, no? And yet, na ya bobi paying, ye ni munsem, ya ye be paying as a moon. It is run based on corporate structures, corporate rules, professional grounds. You hear book money they running. And ya be paying, ya bobi paying. Debbie, that's because at the end of the day. Yamfa say me som with akoma me som akoma na makwa kwatena fie me wo ho no ma akoma ne ye wo hobi ya ye adwuma wo ho entini afa ye pese omo eye neom montie de ye ka no ye ne anim se de adwuma ne ye but e bi so adwuma me ye na about 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I still want to contribute. Meanwhile, ebiana era sesa. And you might be brave as a no, and the way I was saying, and different from my era, and said, your humanity. But you see, and at times, maybe a lot of persons, they get fed up when they hear some of the old legends like yemreno saying ane yeno yemreno saying ane yakono yemrena saying but era sesa and you may be brave sesa obo anymore. Now football is run scientifically. Football is run on corporate terms. For you to run a profitable institution, you need structures. For you to run an entity, a profitable, a viable an entity, a yielded dividend, we invest in the club. No, and ya bobby penny, a be penny, and moon, some na munti, debi. What you should be calling for, and I say that what you should be calling for is that Kotoko is run in such a way that it is structured, well run on professional grounds. If you say and you can say same for supporters leadership and also almost at times hey yen team press self destruction button no na say na dia ba be for me. And to mutimi kwa na fa the blame ne ba be ma radio station analysis of the club tie baby kire ya adwafe de mom and omo the blame ne be. But at the end of the day, for me, when I look at all the things going on, you realize that these two bodies, old players and the supporters omo stadium, Kotoko supporters are out me kind omo. They still want to dictate how the club should be run, who should coach the club, who should come in and who should go. I say that say because it is Otumfo Nkwan run a club with Nisika. Or be anyone man or contribute to the running. But they always dictate. They always want to say how the club should be running, and we are not happy. And then radio so kasa. Because at the end of the day, for me, I sit back and I look at myself, I ask myself, what is the contribution of these two entities toward the club? What is the contribution of these two entities toward the class? Maybe I'm more educated, but I need to be educated on. Then at times they feel that their can and the NC were club anymore. And the club national as management or more running. At times they are in a dilemma because the supporters is telling you or are telling you this old players and so and the can't wait the show and all that. And at times who know which direction to go. And Yamin was say I told you on my name was a utie because when here now say you be jadi aboso. And for me, now look at the whole thing. You didn't team up or you didn't come together to support the man. Because at the end of the day, today, what am I happy as a prosper and fan how to folk. Prosper and Kono starting so on your Juma. A section of the people who feel say no, maybe a Kia no money. Now you have 6 games for Zito to deliver. If this manager, new manager bounce, Juma, not club, no studies or move, then you begin to ask yourself, was it a good decision or was it a bad decision? But in all I say, sa entities ni nan kamum and try say Kotoko will be run based on structures and based on it. So their voices should be heard in terms of representation. And yes, it creates a whole confusion bars around the club and the club which way to go. What I say, yentie supporters, yentie old players, yentie day and all that. And at times I feel that it doesn't help the cause of the club.
My name is Arthur Nyoma. Good evening. Abra Emmanuel say God bless you guys. Good evening. Keep up the good work. Okay, you go so ding. Yeah good. Yeah the adwumaden eba kanewu. Eni ebi ma seref kanewu no pepe. Wo kanewu.
Abuza panyi medasi. Nano me kasembi ekire Asante Kotoko echitafo. Say a section of them, no munyina. They feel say and I didn't sorry the Bia Kotoko, Namuka, and the Biamu discuss Kotoko, and Namuka Kotoko. For people who run YouTube channels, to say me, and now the Bia Kotoko, some number cannot say the Biamu discuss Kotoko, I'm to radio Kotoko. We say positive. Say Nipa, I can't Kotoko asem. Now, me too homophobia. Me the last time I have etna or your discussion about Nana said a discussion be around him. I had to saw my first no the be and the Geo, and I'm going to come and I get in your GFA president. And I can't boss about your back in the bed. And I was the GFA president. We hadn't near Kotokoni is so huge, say. Da ubehu a blackout media nim sa say one kaza chinchim radio sa TS Sports and then china be 3 days one shadan take Kotoko asem a dangerous for Asante Kotoko sa dey say hand to folk so fa bi of course ade bia on the negative side intie bia de bia Kotoko it can have some negatives. But I bet anybody said the positives will far outweigh the negatives. And so you are supporter, be proud that your team is always being discussed. If somebody sits somewhere to set agenda and those things, I know you're part of the AAK. But say, oh, there be I do Kotoko and I shall and be fitted the standard of Kotoko. And I shall no be can't against harm. A boa club and my club and a pija, a bribia, the club will want to at least answer those questions being posed to the club.
Can they?
Yes,
sir.
And some baby akoso na watchia a chemi.
Can they?
And I just remember that in your 2 weeks and I got to go Eddie free a sort of class, I didn't a matter of 4 days. Wednesday versus Accra Lions. Sunday versus Nations FC. Now, Kotoko season, it's almost crashing. From a possible double to the FA Cup alone. The swiftness of management at the far coach by with the benefit of hindsight, who said not discussions the course before the other coach was giving the sack. Let at least almost responding to the situation. And your situation where Yasaki coach and Yanya Biafino is over and Sadia Biacosia Piancobo with my any match Kobono, yes, you will fire no Kotko or more involve your moons are Neomano. With straight away, they had their backup plan in Zito and Zito, any coach at the Prince.
Who's your answer?
I take you over. There's something that the Kotoko boys will need at this point in time. It's not just coaching. It is not just coaching.
Can they?
They need that extra motivation. They need somebody to urge them on. They need somebody to let them know that, yes, season in course, but it is not yet over. Umpo players of coach here Juma said yeah and go for eka and I coach not that players no play Jomum Penasa me sure say some no assume that admit is that is all the Kotoko players and Prosper Ogum obi am papa anywhere no there will be if you comment on say as odobi mu jebi we say just odobi all those players must be their psyche must be worked on for them to understand that they came to Kotoko to serve Kotoko, not to serve a manager. Even though they become manager, they buy.
Can they?
But the reason about Kotoko is over sum Kotoko, over Kotoko, I'm yet to aka. Why must you be manager BH? Why must I manager Bintia? And so when there's a new coach, you must understand and adapt to the ways of the new coach. So the club no investment why you play anymore. Club no abekoso enya nemfaso e de free so.
Can you?
Abdapani.
Can you?
Me wo afutuo bi e de ma opanyi Karim Zito. see the people omo kasa bebrebe no unse di bi kasa bebrebe omo kasa bebrebe na as a unse there's a problem wo pa bia at the beginning of the season said you person omo ni coach siri za na no ni coach ba ko no siri o yang kwan ya susu bie o Chelsea train so mango vo hu nam kura egumu ate na so obana nam no gum bebrebe a o ka kaje ma mi di oboni kunu kade wo di die wo hwe ne gwa mu obana hwe nim so no no so ko na papa izo so mo ne ira ko homa na no ko e pa mi ko so janyo na nkwanfu bi o mo ye nam kura anim na we na sister it oda tuti enjasem ne bia no mo bi kafa ho susu bie wo nkwa chance tire no so se o kaso be soja kura pa twankwa no ko hye ho o soja wi na dia besi so
nice one
ni wa hu de tuam na wan hwe ye nipa no hu de tuam a kyena bi enya nna no the tomorrow is what we are talking about Mr. Abdul Karim Zito ono our experience power ye league nim our experience our coaching nim wa ye adwuma na che abuja panyi ade ba kwa Mr. Abdul Karim Zito ne se ma ontietie atesem hunu ma ontietie atesem hunu atesem no tie bi ye pe guide o pa but ye hunu antim za nipa se mo waka che ye za o shemu ne ka che krache wa ka za wi asore ko he shouldn't be engaged in listening to Sanyo man ade ba kwa onslaught ayen this season na the Liverpool akwaje league no how he maintained the structure of Liverpool. Abrana for over 7 years. Omakosa structure now under a certain manager. If you want to change everything at just one point in time, it me a crumble. Of course, it will be musu to me ba. Oba na no assistant bibia. Yes. Eti Raf Antonio Conte be league na mamono. But no kasa kroba wan sate we tre back. Chelsea bought 4, 5, 6 games into the season. And was started at tre back no far. Ala tanina Victor Moses be gina 2. Na Diego Costa gina ni more
strong man.
Wo Bobby ne bi bono no tie bi sa. Enti o change nyoma from how things were being done. Brazil Zidane ebe take over Real Madrid from Rafa Benitez or the kwaje Champions League twice je
Miensano.
Ejeni train you repeat one change nyoma bebrebe. At this point in time, the Kotoko players, I'm putting myself in their shoes in terms of almost psyche. They've been used to something. It has changed. They are supposed to deliver over 7 days. They are now going into a game under a new manager. They are supposed to deliver. Sometimes I sit down, I pity them. 2 things. There will be comments. Say nyame adom no mo chia aduana stars bo pa 4 5 ne hey boys they so much that pa so me apam prosper
Ko bantama
say wo mo ko bonus say den say de je no players say ya no mo nya de boys no mo nya de ezi eja obokwan it is sometimes I pity the Kotoko players and what is running through Omadwenim, but they should throw everything away, enter the field on Sunday to go and defend the colors of Asante Kotoko.
Nice one.
To go and defend the badge that they wear. That you go and give your maximum best. Shanano a Sunday game na Kotoko lose here. Ami ka se go.
Nations.
First goal no. Yes, our goals na from nowhere. The Justice Blake ko she bi Pando no. Ball no buy no boy no. You cannot imagine say worked out, you know. Now few J ball no gina o page ball. I'm sure in Ems and you know person sending and he swing or cross. Ball not touching him. Second goal no there. Yeah, hey TV na clear offside. But that game no quite some plan say in the second half after Kotoko went 2-0 down. On the ball power was obeying. But at the end of the day, we lose 2-0. You must have discussion around game our boy and it doesn't matter. I'm just hoping some boys na abembuo enwura omumu. Enti na say my coach entete nsem bebrebe on the boys na eye adwuma. And na no say oba be the psychological aspect no aye football field no so there. They need to psych the boys. Get the boys to where players, ebe decide say after there womu baso mu be ya adwuma no pa. I think that Japan eno ade a ebe boa Asante Kotoko as a club, ebe boa Kotoko supporters finally to the supporters. Sunday they need to come to the stadium. Finally Asante Kotoko supporters must come to the stadium on Sunday to support Kotoko versus Aduana Stars. Coach Asimo Kan said they must appreciate win. It doesn't matter how it will come. I have been a proponent of that idea. Not since the league started, but since I could resume action after Yenua Pole unfortunate demise. Because the supporters must just appreciate the wins. Because they were in a certain situation. Now wins na be here on kakra and after there a take ye draw be defeat me try to lead to the sack of the manager at the helm of affairs. The Kotoko players, the Kotoko technical team, Kotoko management and the Kotoko supporters must come on board. Na so we nyina omu nyina ba on board. Na omu ye e ma Kotoko no etimi e run smoothly. They will realize that after all, they don't have the worst players in the league. It is not, nobody can convince anybody. Kotoko players in the power league. Maybe Abraham TV has about Kotoko among the worst teams in the league. Even today, I'm losing 2 matches at once. They are fourth. They are not anywhere near the worst teams in the league. And the supporters must also jira team na chinyami adwa kwesiada. Na Kotoko enya the win over Aduana Stars. Na omuti bi bomb matches na aka no kra di wiye ya abutapanyu say their confidence level yabo weekend we yana say ball the weekend of 3rd and 4th then omo call FA Cup. If Kotoko are able to pick 2 wins na more the confidence to go and play the FA Cup don't win here. FA Cup the catch say a win over Chelsea will almost secure the title because Division 1 for no Kotoko abo omu nyina. Yeah. So a win for them over Brekum Chelsea should be the target. Yenya wins enough of confidence because Nansese Nesi kwa twaso sa enom ne brekum Chelsea ko ba e bia nka busa panyenye we mekane wusa Kotoko chita afo munyina mutim na chefe coach Karim Zito ma ontie atisem hunu. He should mind himself with how he's going to get the club back to winning and competing, and that is what is important.
Pepe Suarez Stevo mamenye okanewu wonso wakanewu ene sen na mabisa question we